It's Conduit News Radio with Paul Harrell.
All right, everyone, welcome back to Conduit News Radio with Paul Harrell. This is Josh Waters filling in for Paul today. I want to give a shout out to our Facebook audience and live streaming audiences on YouTube and at conduitnews.com and on live stream. It's facebook.com/Conduit News if you want to watch online. And I also want to give a shout out to all the terrestrial listening stations, and especially right now our affiliate KARV there in the River Valley in the Russellville area. And the reason I mention that is because right now we actually have Dr. Joe Cloud from the Russellville area, and he is running for House District 71 as a Republican for state representative. Good morning, Dr. Cloud.
Good morning, Josh.
Well, welcome to the show. I wanted to have you on to just have you talk about your race and how it's going. And you know, I think don't believe you've been on the show before, so kind of broader topics. Just a little bit about yourself and why you're running for office.
Well, Josh, I appreciate the opportunity to be with you today. My wife Cherry and I moved to Russellville in the River Valley in 1986. After finishing a obstetrics gynecology residency at University of Arkansas for Medical Sciences in Little Rock. We established our home here and have been very blessed. I had a very blessed and great practice for over 28 years here. And about a year ago, Josh, after I had retired, started having some conversations with Senator Greg Standridge, and even after he became ill, every conversation I had with Greg would always go back to politics, and he kind of sparked my interest, I guess you might say, and then I had conversations with other folks. It's easy to sit on the sidelines, Josh. It's easy to not be involved. But when something gets on your heart, you go ahead and hopefully you step up. And so that's kind of what's brought me to this arena and what I'm calling a second career. I desire to continue to serve the people of the River Valley and the people of the state of Arkansas. And I think I can do that in the House of Representatives.
Great. Okay. So you mentioned you are a doctor from the Russellville area, but on your Facebook page, I'm looking there and got some other notes here. You know that you're a conservative, pro-life, and pro-constitution. So just talk a little bit about that and the issues that are passionate to you.
Okay, I appreciate that, Josh. You don't have enough time for me to talk about pro-life. I promise you that. But in a nutshell, I've been pro-life all my life. I've been very active locally in the Choices Pregnancy Resource Center. I've been very active in the American Association of Pro-Life Obstetricians and Gynecologists. Very troubled by the fact that we have legally aborted over 60 million Americans now, and that's more than all of our wars combined. We've lost Americans in tragedies, in all of those combined numbers. We've aborted more human life than that. There's really two people that suffer with abortion. It's not just the unborn child, Josh. The statistics have proven that women who have undergone abortion suffer from depression. They suffer from an increased risk of substance abuse, suicide, even other medical issues, not to mention their reproductive organs only, but even breast cancer. So it's a huge issue for our nation. We started down this path in 1973, and there have been recent efforts to try to reverse some of the pro-abortion legislation, and I'm certainly on board for that. I am 100% pro-life.
Great.
You also mentioned being a constitutionalist. The Constitution, in my opinion, and in the opinion of the Republican Party, Josh, the Constitution is a literal document.
Mm-hmm.
The United States, and I found this as out visiting with people, the United States is a republic. It is not a democracy.
That's right. Thank you for saying that. Many people are confused by that.
I've been really amazed at the number of people that I've talked to that don't realize the difference or just think that we're a democracy. You know, a democracy, the majority rules. They can tell me to wear all gray clothes and to drive a certain automobile, or to not be able to drive an automobile or whatever, just by a majority vote. But a republic is different from that. The republic, as guaranteed by our Constitution, the power is held by the people, and then the people give that power to their elected officials. And as you stated in your opening, I'm running for House of, and I emphasize the word representative. If I'm not representing my constituency, I'm not doing my job, because that's part of what a republic is. The exercise of the power that's given by the people is under the set of laws as laid out in the Constitution. So I'm very much a constitutionalist. I believe the Constitution has some guarantees to the individual against the majority. You know, we have a right to speak. We have a right to think. We have a right to worship. We have a right to vote. And those are things that are blessings for the United States of America that other countries, a lot of them don't have those rights. And that's sad to me. But we are a republic, and we are protected as far as our life, our liberty, and our property by the government. But we don't need to let the government go beyond that.
Yeah, man, that's great to hear. That's really refreshing. You know, unfortunately, we hear, you know, from politicians, you know, I hear a lot is, you know, well, I'm going to do this for you, I'm going to do that for you, that kind of a thing, which, you know, that's part of it. But to hear a candidate for office, you know, going back to the original founding document that set up the government and defines what the role of government is, like you've done, I mean, that's really refreshing. And just thanks for sharing that with us. And so this is House District 71. Ken Henderson is not running for re-election. So it's you, the Republican, versus a Democrat opponent. And so remind everyone, I know it's the Russellville area, but I wasn't sure, you know, if it's just Russellville or what the whole district encompasses there.
Josh, it is primarily Russellville. District 71 extends up toward Dover, but not to Dover. It extends toward Atkins, but not, to Pottsville, but not to Pottsville, not into Pottsville. And then it's bordered on the southern by the Arkansas River. So it's primarily Russellville proper.
Okay, great. All right. So, you know, you've laid out, you know, your pro-life position, pro-constitution position, conservative position. You know, how can people maybe find out more about you, you know, Facebook or Twitter or, you know, website? I'm not sure what you have there, but if you have events going on, or how can people, you know, interact with you during this campaign season?
I'm easy to get a hold of, Josh. They can contact me directly if they would wish to. I am on Facebook, Cloud for State Rep, and easy to find there. And I'm accessible. I'll be glad to talk to anyone. Doesn't matter about your party affiliation. It's just my heart's desire to serve. You know, if I could say quickly, you know, I went back to several conversations I had with Greg, and one of the greatest blessings he received out of being a senator was when people would call him with what to them were insurmountable problems, and he was able to help them navigate because of his position. So, that's what I want to do. I want to be able to serve the people of Russellville and the people of the state of Arkansas.
Well, that's great. The heart of a servant, that's straight from the Bible. And, it's great to hear, Senator
Right.
Standridge's legacy is living on in others. I'll give you the last word, Dr. Cloud, before we head to break, and just anything else you want to share with the voters out there.
Well, yes, Josh, since you mentioned the Bible, our Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, not only to the flag, but then there's that word "and" to the republic for which it stands, and we discussed that, one nation under God.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just like to be able to point out that word God means the Jehovah God. It's the Yeshua of the Old Testament. It's not something that man has made with their own hands. It's not something that we conjure up. The founding fathers believed in the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the God of I Am. And so that's the God I believe in. And that's who ultimately I want to serve and want to please.
Amen. Well, Dr. Cloud, I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate that testimony there as well. Your stand for Christ. It's really refreshing to hear this morning speaking with you, and just want to thank you for coming on and just let us know how we can help, and best of luck to you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Josh. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yes, sir. Well, take care. And we are going to go ahead and go to a break here. We want to thank Dr. Joe Cloud for being on. He's running for House District 71 there in Russellville. And that election will be coming up in November. And like he said, he has a Facebook page. I pulled that up. It's Joe A. Cloud, MD, on Facebook. Looks like you can find out some more there and see some pictures and posts he's made about his candidacy for state representative. So we're going to go ahead and take a break. You're listening to Conduit News Radio with Paul Harrell. This is Josh Waters filling in for Paul today, and we'll be back after this.